It looks like Nee in Pennsylvania, he, him pronouns has some evidence for God. So Jim and I are here. What do you got for us, Nee?
Yes, hi. This is quite a new channel for me, so I just came across it, and I thought I was going to like it a lot.
Cool.
Welcome.
So,
Thanks.
yeah, it was nice knowing you guys and hearing everything you have to discuss. So, primarily, I would say I wanted to just make a presentation more than it is an evidence. And the presentation is from the standpoint of the claim of God itself.
Okay.
Because a lot of times when you guys, when everyone talks about evidence, there is a kind of an idea you already have of what will constitute an evidence. And I was going to say that the word evidence itself is not a floating concept. An evidence will always intend to corroborate a claim.
Mm-hmm.
And so the nature of the claim will usually determine the kind of evidence. For example, if Tom shot, I don't want to forget about, if Tom shot a school, went on the shooting spree, and the judge is saying, how do I know that Tom can stand trial for shooting the school? I wouldn't want to go to a lab. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You would
Sure.
say, well, let's get psychologists to talk to Tom. In fact, if Tom is a very smart guy, he could actually give answers that will make us conclude that he's not fit to stand trial.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, the verdict of several psychiatrists or several psychologists would tell us that Tom indeed can stand trial.
Mm-hmm.
So the nature of the claim of whether Tom can stand trial for going to shoot a school has determined and has informed the nature of the evidence for asserting or corroborating that Tom can truly stand trial.
I think Jim and myself are with you on this
Yep.
concept, Nee. I guess my like where we're going with this for me would be, okay, then what's the nature of your claim when it comes to what you say is God? And then we can suss out together here live what evidence we would look for, right? Like for instance, if souls are real, well, there's probably some good evidence that we could find poking around the brain. So yeah, what's your God claim, and let's figure out what evidence would prove or disprove that. Like,
Okay, yeah, sorry. I guess I thought I just.
no, you're good.
You're good.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the claim of God, when people present the claim of God, we call it, it can only be presented just because, just for example, the universe. We know the universe is vast and endless, but you cannot subsume, I don't know if that's the right word, the universe into your intellect, as it says. You know the universe exists because you see a part of the universe, or you exist in a part of the universe. But
Sure, we can't fully comprehend everything about the universe. Yeah.
Exactly. So the universe has to be presented to a person as, oh, this exists, as what we call an absolute truth. And the idea, though, for most people who are atheists or whatever, is that God can only be revealed. God cannot be, you cannot progress in the knowledge of God, except first you have a foundation to progress from. So,
and what's that foundation? And actually, let me back you up. Let me back up a little further. Could you define absolute truth in regards to truth? Because I mean, something is either true or false.
Right. What's the difference?
What does absolute truth mean?
An absolute truth is something that you cannot progress in because it comes as it is. For example, the universe, you can progress in the knowledge of the universe, but for us, we were born into the universe. The universe would be a kind of an absolute truth for us.
But we know more about the universe today than we did 1,000 years ago, and we found out some very surprising and very counterintuitive things about the universe, without getting into even the quantum stuff that is really mind blowing. And so we know more every day. So how is the universe an absolute truth?
Right.
Yes. So you have grown in the knowledge of the universe, but you're gaining information that is already there. This information you're gaining is not something you're discovering it for yourself, but it's already there. I don't know if I'm making sense. So the
universe exists, and we're discovering how it works, and we're describing it how it works through the laws of science. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
How does that get to absolute truth?
Yeah, and what does this do as for a deity and stuff? I'm just a little confuzzled.
Yeah. So basically, when the truth itself, the nature of the truth, is much more than you can comprehend
Possibly.
in its presentation.
So what do you mean by comprehend? Because science is a huge topic, and for one person to comprehend all of it at the moment, we don't have the brain capacity for. But we do have specialists who understand very small parts of it because there is so much. Yeah. So when you say that we can't understand it, and I kind of go, yeah, okay, one brain can't, but we as humanity can. Right. I don't think now that we're talking about that type of thing. So could you go back to what you mean by we can't understand it?
Okay, let me do this. Imagine we could fast forward time like 200 years and learn so much about life, and then let's go back in time again to what we are now. Now that knowledge that we've gained about life, do you think that it's possible that there's someone, for example, that would know everything that there is to know about life? But
no. Not with our current brain capacity,
yeah.
and not with our current lifespans. No.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're saying, no. And I don't even know that that's something that is. I don't know how this is beneficial in either scenario, right? If we go, oh my gosh, oh no, we'll never be able to know everything about everything. I don't know what that does for the stuff that we do have good reason to know about. Like Jim was saying, we've made a lot of really good progress. Okay, like maybe we don't have it all, but I don't know how that discounts any of that. And I definitely don't know how that lends credence to a belief in something that we don't have any foundation to believe in.
No, yes, I'm coming there. My argument actually is that there is an hypothetical set of all there is to know, possibly.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So imagine that there is. So, for example, if you look at a bird, there's some things we don't know about a bird, but there is an absolute knowledge of all we can possibly know about a bird, and we can begin to learn about birds. So imagine that bird is as we progress in the knowledge of that bird, we have actually been able to travel forward in time to know all that we have to know, and then we're coming back in time. Then
it sounds to me like this is the argument from incredulity, right?
I have no idea where. I'm trying to figure out where he's going.
It sounds like what he's saying, and please help me out on this, Nee, because I'm not trying to straw man you. I'm genuinely trying to walk this path with you. It sounds like what you're saying is because there is a hypothetical set of all of the knowledge, on any given topic, let's just say all of the knowledge on everything. Theoretically, there's a list of that stuff, okay? And it sounds like where you're going is because we accept that we don't know all of that, that leaves room open for God. And that, for me, is the argument of incredulity. We're just literally saying we just don't know, therefore we'll put it in this spot. Is that a good understanding of what you are saying, or am I just off base?
No, let me clarify. So the nature of the claim of God in itself can only be presented initially or preliminarily. This is before you begin to ask for evidence or
You're saying we can't even fully understand the nature and claim of God to begin with. Is that?
Yes.
But that's a huge problem. That's a massive problem. If you're accepting that at the front, that you can't possibly ever fully comprehend the nature of God, then everything you think you know about God is, by your acceptance, unfounded.
Including the Bible,
right? Because how do you know that this was the God's will? I mean,
especially the Bible at that point becomes irrelevant, as does every single religious text ever.
Right.
If you can't understand it, then you can't write about it.
That's a big problem for you, Nee, not for us.
Let me explain myself. You cannot know, for example, a man and a spouse, or a man and a spouse. A person is a human being, right? You cannot, because human beings have expressions, their moods and everything. You cannot say that if you ask a man and say, do you know your wife? He's going to tell you, yes, I know my wife. But that doesn't mean that he knows all there is to know about his wife.
That doesn't matter. You're talking about two separate concepts here, and it doesn't matter that it isn't important that in this scenario that you've given, that this one individual doesn't know every little detail about his wife. It's unimportant. And if you're just saying, well, because he doesn't know every detail about his wife, then he doesn't know anything, or vice versa, there's the possibility of this thing that we've never had any demonstration or good reason to believe that thing now exists, that's a problem. That's a problem for you. That's not something we have to deal with. We're saying, hey, yeah, we probably can't ever freaking know every single thing about the universe. And let's go investigate, as opposed to just slotting in an answer for the sake of it.
Right.
You know?
And when you say a husband doesn't know the wife, I think we need to figure out what you mean.
Right.
Not every couple is incredibly close. I have met couples where they will literally, in every sense of the word, finish each other's sentences. You can ask one of them where the other one is, and they will point. They're not even in the same room. And they will point to them every single time. All you got to do is follow the finger through the rooms of the house, and boom, there's the other person. And there are couples that aren't anywhere near that close. So when you say know each other and you can't know each other, I really would like some clarification on what you mean by that, because there are different levels of knowledge. And many times we typically as humans don't speak precisely. So when I say I know my wife, you kind of got to immediately start digging out, and what do you mean by know? How well? Can you answer these questions about your wife? Do you know what what her mood is right now? Can you read her mood? Some can, some can't. So all these different levels of knowledge. Okay, fine, they're levels of knowledge. We don't know everything 100%. So what? Give me a reason to care why we don't know everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. So thank you so much for that analogy. So you basically thank you so much, because what I'm trying to say indeed is that a man cannot have absolute knowledge of his wife.
So what?
But
why do I care?
But he has not. Exactly. So you said something about the three levels of knowledge and their actual formal tiers. So there's a first tier where you are aware of someone or of something, and there's a second tier where you have common knowledge, or what we call handling and manipulation, which means you can actually probe the knowledge of something. And there's a third tier where you have absolute knowledge of something. So just like you said, there are three tiers of knowledge truly. Now, because you cannot have absolute knowledge of something or someone, it doesn't mean you don't know that thing. You can start from awareness. So that's what I'm saying. The inherent in the claim of God is the capacity to be aware of the claim of God. You don't.
Okay, I can be aware of God, but you still haven't given us any evidence for God.
Right.
And you say you have to have the right evidence. Well, God is a supernatural claim. So give me evidence. I want supernatural evidence, right? Give me evidence that a spell works. Give me evidence of a soul. Give me an evidence that demons and angels exist. Give me some evidence of the supernatural, and then you can work your way and go, okay, here's God, or gods, as the case may be. Right. Because what you haven't done is you haven't eliminated Shintoism, which Shintoism is technically an atheistic religion because there are no gods, right? They're all spirits. Yeah. And there are a number of other religions that, just because I can't name off the top of my head doesn't mean they don't exist, that are also don't have gods. They have spirits of different power levels, so to speak. But again, those aren't gods. So you need to explain those or explain why they don't exist. And then you can keep going. But if you're going to make this supernatural claim that God exists, then you need supernatural evidence. And what is that evidence? Yeah. And as I have said before, in 2,000 years, things we thought were supernatural have been proven to be natural.
Yeah. The supernatural side has literally never won a single one of those, Nee.
I am not making a supernatural claim. That's the thing I'm trying to point out.
But your God is supernatural.
But you are. I mean, you are making a supernatural claim. You're saying because I love how you put the yet in there, because it's almost as if Jim and I have been doing this for a minute.
Yeah.
We kind of know where some people want to go sometimes, you know? Not reading your mind or anything, but maybe.
There's only so many places you can go from a certain position.
Right. There's only so many places you could go. And where you're going, Nee, is exactly what I said just a minute ago, which is, because there are these tiers of knowledge, you're saying that because we as people can never sit on that highest tier of absolute truth, of complete eternal knowledge of all existence, that therefore in that space of fuzziness exists my God. And I'm just telling you, Nee, that is an argument from incredulity, and that's not great.